What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, back with another awesome Giants Roundtable. Got three great Giants content creators on the channel tonight. I want to welcome Heartstorm Media to the channel. Never had you on here, so an honor to have you on here. Copizzle, great to work with you again, my man. Good to see you. And Kid Blue, always an honor to have you on the channel. So, guys, I really appreciate you doing this and taking some time out of your day to do this with me tonight. So thank you guys for being here. It is much appreciated. As always, if you guys and girls haven't subscribed to these fine gentlemen, make sure you go into the description. The links to all their channels are there. Click on them, sub them up. Make sure you click that bell notification to know when they drop content. You won't want to miss it. Thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. Let me get these super chats out of the way real quick. Harrison Jolly, I know he's not here, but Brilly says going to miss the stream because of you. And even I wanted to say shout out, Cop. You bring me into the Giants YouTube, so thank you so much, and much love to the rest of y'all. Benjamin, thank you for all the Rated R super chats. Brilly, he says strip clubs now. He says Latina strippers. Then he says this super chat goes out to the love of my life. Don't know what I do without her. My advice to all the gentlemen in this stream is treat your women with respect. And then in the next one, he says, I'll be back. I got to go play with her bang hole. Okay. And then he says, Bad Dog's my biological dad. It makes sense that I get my love for ass and strippers from him. Well, I think most men are into that. And Dire Giants fan, man, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my good mate says, mad respect to all of y'all. Can't imagine what it's like to create content during a time like this. Keep up the hard work. Super Bowl 2022, let's go. Need to keep Gettleman for another 2 years.
I second that.
We'll start with that. I had Clocks. I don't know if Clocks is in here, but Clocks actually. I see my brother-in-law, the Don's in the house. Quick shout to him. LB, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, I like Kid Blue. I've been watching him a lot.
Appreciate that, LB. Appreciate that, man.
And QB Eagles fan, Brilly says, bend the knee. I'm not reading the Eagles slogan. We own you. Well, for the last 10 years, you pretty much have. Yep. You only have one Super Bowl. Catch up. I'm going to start with a question that a guy gave me on the chat. I don't know if Clocks is here, but he asked me to ask you guys about this. Obviously, the DeAndre Baker situation is a disaster. And we know there's a cop, and I know you did a video on this, and I loved your video on this because it's true. We do have a lot of boneheads that have been on this team the last few years. I'm going to start with you on this one, Cop. Do you place any blame on Gettleman for drafting him? And if so, how much blame do you place on him, if any?
First and foremost, let me say that Lord Brunson is a booger eater. And he will always be a booger eater. Let me just say that. So
it's going to be interesting.
But nevertheless, I actually do put a lot of blame on Gettleman for DeAndre Baker. And I'm going to tell you why. I watched DeAndre Baker in college, thought he was a good player, heard about all the stats. And then I heard his first post-draft interview somewhere on Giants.com, somewhere, it was somewhere along those lines. And after hearing his interview, I said, this guy's not smart. This guy sounds, a little messed up in the head. Like there's a couple screws being loose.
Yeah, he's a booger eater is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's a booger eater, but nevertheless, he just didn't seem like he was very wise. And so how do you have an interview, pre-draft interview with somebody who doesn't sound very smart, who doesn't seem like he comes well off, and you think that's a great idea to not only draft him, but to trade back into the first round and pick him, right? If you're going to trade back in the first round, that guy's got to be he's got to be a stud. He's got to be something, right? Mm-hmm. So I do not blame Gettleman for a lot of the things that happens on and or off the field, but on this one, it's on him. No question in my mind. It's all him. So, yeah, I put 100% blame on Gettleman for this one.
Okay, Kid Blue, what do you think about that?
Well, I tend to disagree. I do see Copizzle's point. Got in pre-draft interviews, something must have come up that hey, maybe this is a red flag to draft him. But you cannot have expected this was going to happen from DeAndre Baker. You look at a bunch of other teams in the league: the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Cowboys. Even a lot of these guys, a lot of these teams draft players, sign players that are not very smart, and they get away with it because it winds up working out. I think the Giants tried doing the same thing. It didn't work out, and now everybody's looking at the Giants like they're a poorly run organization due to the DeAndre Baker situation. But Seattle gets away with it all the time because they're successful at it. And another thing is that DeAndre Baker is a grown man. And I say this, I'll keep saying this constantly. DeAndre Baker is a grown man. I don't think Dave Gettleman was there to babysit him. I don't think he's there to. Obviously, he's your boss, and you probably should expect the highest from your players. But I think DeAndre Baker is in charge of his own destiny when it comes to that, and a lot of the blame should be on DeAndre Baker. But Dave Gettleman did draft him. It's at the end of the day, it's on his shoulders, and nothing we can say about it from there on. But I would say a lot of the blame is DeAndre Baker, Dave Gettleman, a bit of it.
Okay, Heartstrom Media.
Can I respond to that real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can't miss on your first round draft picks. I don't care.
Hey man, Seattle misses on all the
time. Hold on, Cobb. If you miss, that's your job. Anybody can draft the top 30 guys in the league. Anybody could. A more coaching program can draft the top 30 guys.
Hold on.
Look, Cop.
Seattle misses on all their first round picks, and they're still a great organization.
Seattle
can't draft in the first round.
No. So let me jump in. I'm gonna follow up to what Cop said about you can't miss on your first round pick. 30 good players don't even get drafted every year. If you go back and look at, like I just did an analyzation of the 2017 draft, it was 6 busts in the top 10. It was 15 busts in the top 30.
Yeah,
so it's not even always 30 solid players out there to get to begin with. So it's so easy to miss out on a guy, just for one. Now, I'll say this about missing like Dave Gettleman drafting, DeAndre Baker. I don't remember who drafted Aaron Hernandez, and I don't think they lost their job. So if you talk about messing up on the guy,
that's a great point.
Now, mind you, they won a Super Bowl with him. It would have been nice if we could have got a Super Bowl out of DeAndre Baker before he did some goofy stuff like this. So, but like Kid Blue says, you take a chance on the guy. You take a chance on a guy's talent all the time. You take a chance on a guy's character all the time. The same. If a guy doesn't pan out, yeah, you gotta take some responsibility for that. But if you think about somebody doing something that you just couldn't foresee, like we could blame Gettleman for drafting a guy that falls asleep in meetings because we had heard that before.
That's fine.
So if we wanted to say, man, Gettleman, this guy's not prepared. We heard stories about him falling asleep in meetings. You could take that blame. But this, how do you prepare for that?
Okay, go ahead. With that being said, we cannot take the Giants have no business taking a chance on talent because we're not the New England Patriots. Okay, if we're the New England Patriots, we can roll the dice all we want to. We can't miss. And when you go back in the first round and you draft a guy, you set him down day one and say, "My man, don't embarrass me," because I gave up some stock for you. I showed my cards for you. Okay, I wanted you. I wanted you to be a part of this organization. Don't screw it up. And if he didn't have that conversation, shame on him. First of all, and if DeAndre Baker, I get it. He's his own man. Now, Kid Blue, I would argue that when you're 22, 23, 24, you make dumb decisions because you're still young and dumb. Okay?
Yeah. But if that was the case, all rookies would be robbing.
Well, to be fair, some stories don't get let out. Some stories do. Okay?
Right.
So, with that being said, again, Gettleman needed to he had to have that conversation with Baker to let him know, or really all of his first round talent, I need you need me, let's make this work together.
Let me get these super chats real quick. Simon Z, Brilly says Dave made up for it by hitting on both 5th rounders. It's true. PTA Sports, Brilly says, what up, fellas? Good to see you guys. Good to see you, PTA Sports. We had him on this last week. I'm going to say this about the DeAndre Baker situation. I definitely think Gettleman is part to blame. There's no doubt about that. Gettleman couldn't know DeAndre Baker was going to go commit armed robbery. But like Copizzle said, you interview the guy, you obviously know this guy's, you know his personality, okay? But I blame ownership as well. Because if you think about this, 2016, there wasn't many good first-round picks, but there was a great first-round pick that was there for us. We had in Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
We didn't take him because of the whole gas thing, right? He's all the way down to the Dolphins. We didn't take a chance on him because of a picture, right? So the Giants missed out on the best left tackle. We ended up with Eli Apple. That was terrible. And Tunsil has done nothing wrong since he's got into the league.
I think they learned from that, though. I think they learned from that mistake. And they listened to somebody like
it's different GMs, though. So I don't know how much ownership told Jerry Reese, stay away from him, although Reese was terrible anyway. So Reese, even if there wasn't a gas mask thing, Reese may have not taken
he wasn't even on the draft board. He was offensive lineman, so he was off. He was
right. Yeah. So,
he wanted Eli's mom, so he wanted Eli's mom so he could have a show.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he thought because we had one great Eli there, he thought maybe because his name was Eli, he was going to turn in. I don't know. But it's just
let me say this too, but and I don't want people to think I'm anti-Gettleman because I'm not.
I know
because I think actually one of the best draft picks out of any team that's been made in the last a couple of drafts is Darius Slayton.
Yep.
You know that Gettleman got him in the 5th round, and for me, that's one of the best picks that any GM's made in the National Football League, right? And I've been trying to tell Kid Blue, I've been trying to tell Chris the Entertainer, he's the guy that makes this offense work. They still think it's Saquon, but nevertheless, I can't change their mind on that. But Darius Slayton has been one of the greatest picks that the team has made. So I give Gettleman a ton of credit on that. But DeAndre, I gotta put that on him too.
Yeah, listen, man, he's got to take the good with the bad. You know, no GM is 100%. I think some people that just want to hate on Gettleman just look to blame Gettleman for anything. And I know you're not like that, Cop. So I value your opinion on that because I know you're not going to hate on him. So, but there are some guys that no matter what this guy does, no matter they won't talk about. And listen, we all know how I reacted to Daniel Jones when we drafted him. And I was completely wrong about that. So Gettleman knew this is probably the best quarterback in the draft class. You know, I mean, he really has been. He was better than, and I love Murray, but he was better than Kyler Murray last year. Way better than Dwayne Haskins. You know, it's not close. So he obviously knows. He drafts very well, but no GM's gonna nail it. So he got that right. He got Saquon right because Sam Darnold's a train wreck. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
he does. He stinks. Okay? He's terrible. So he's made a lot of good picks. So he got
Ryan Connolly right too.
Right. He got Connolly. Got Julian Love. He picked Andrew. You know, this year I think our draft is great. I think he's done a good job. But when he misses on someone's like, oh God, he's the reason we're this bad. He's the reason we're that bad. And Jerry Reese had 7 years of bad drafts, had horrible backloaded contracts. We had no cap space. Gettleman signed the best left tackle he could in Solder. It didn't work. He went out and traded for a linebacker now, Golatry, because we needed a linebacker. It didn't work. But they want to blame Gettleman for that and to say he's the reason we've been bad the last 2 years. He took over a situation he couldn't win. Now going into year 3 under Gettleman, this is the year we have to see some improvement. Our cap space is improving. He's had 3 drafts. They did a really good job of addressing the offensive line. I expect the Giants to be better this year. We just have a really tough schedule. But I think if the Giants win 7 games and they beat the Cowboys and Eagles and they start to compete against guys, you know, teams like the Ravens and the 49ers, we're moving in the right direction. I think that's going to happen. But you can't get on Gettleman because he made a mistake with DeAndre Baker. You know, I mean, you can blame him for the pick, but I'm saying you can't kill the guy and be like, he needs to be gone because of this pick.
Yeah.
You know, he's done a lot of good things. He's done some bad. Every GM misses. It's how it is. He had a lot of talent. He was great at Georgia, and the guy's just I don't know. He's a booger.
You know, if Baker would have fell to us, and I said this in one of my videos, if Baker would have fell to us in the 2nd round, it's a different story. We're having a whole different conversation if we don't trade up to get him. You know what I mean? Like if he fell to us in the 2nd, it's like, hey, you know, you got one of the top cornerbacks in the draft. He fell to us, we take him. You know what I mean? Like
McKinney.
Different conversation. But like McKinney. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. That to me is the biggest thing that you traded in to get him. That to me is huge because you basically told him we really want you. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, oh, you fell to us and we just drafted you. No, we went out and found a way to get you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's a big deal.
I don't know what the hell a guy's thinking, oh man.
Go.
You get $10 million and you're going to rob someone for $70,000. That just doesn't add up to me. I don't understand. That's like me robbing somebody for $7. I mean, what is the point of that? You got $10 million. Who cares? You know?
The crazy thing is, it's not even a robbery, and we'll get off Baker. It's like Michael Jordan going to a casino, right? It's the gambling that's the thing. It's a ton of people that gamble for no reason, but they gamble because they like to gamble. And so it's kind of like, what do you have to gain? You like you said, you got a $10 million contract. You're gambling for $7,000, but they're gambling over Madden. They're playing Madden.
I know.
But it's kind of like, if we're gonna play Madden and I got $1 million in the blank, it's not fun unless we got a couple of dollars on the table. You know, right. It's kind of like.
But if you lose, you just swallow your pride and go. I mean,
yeah.
You don't hold the people. I don't know.
But if you go read that story, Bad Dog, I read the text. It seemed like the other guys who were losing didn't want to pay up, and that's how it is too. If you read the text message, that's kind of what it read to me. But next time, who we on?
I don't know. L.A. Lou, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, glad to see this Bad Dog lineup. Kid Blue, kudos to you on having Batico on your video. That was awesome, by the way. And letting you all know the geezer turned 58 yesterday. Happy birthday, L.A. Lou. And Bad Dog.
Okay, happy birthday.
I will check my P.O. box next week, L.A. Lou. Thank you so much. My birthday is the 27th, so, you know, a lot of July people in here. But I appreciate it, L.A. Lou. Thank you so much. PTA, he says, y'all not going to disrespect my drunk Uncle Gettleman. Billy Billy says, Cobb, where's the moonshine from last
time? Moonshine.
Whatever it was, he says, I'm just messing all of. I appreciate it, guys. All right, this is a question I've been asking all the round tables, so we're going to ask you guys this. We'll start with you on this one, Kid Blue.
Okay.
Rank the quarterbacks best to worst in the NFC East. It's my favorite question.
All right, here we go. And I know we're gonna get some Giants fans hating because they want me to put Daniel Jones number 1. All due respect, I'm as non-biased as I can get non-biased. Okay, so number 1, I would put Carson Wentz up top, but due to his injuries, if I'm starting a franchise, I'm probably going to take Dak just because Carson Wentz can't survive a season. I got to start looking in the market for backup quarterbacks. I have to start thinking about drafting a backup quarterback like Jalen Hurts.
And that's a terrible pick, by the way.
Right. So, you know, when you get Carson Wentz, you got to have a Nick Foles. So he's out of the question. He's probably the second quarterback to me. I put Dak number 1, Carson number 2, Daniel Jones number 3, but a strong number 3. I'm talking within 2 years, maybe even next year. I think Daniel Jones could solidify himself as probably one of the best quarterback in the NFC East. But for right now, got him at number 3, and obviously whoever's going to be playing for the Washington team, right? Dwayne Haskins or Kyle Allen, whoever it is, you know. So yeah, that's my order.
All right, Heartstorm, give me your order.
All right, so I'm gonna start. I guess I'll start with the top, like Kid Blue. So for my money right now, I'd have to say Dak because he stays healthy, only because he's been able to play. He puts up decent numbers, you know what I mean? Numbers aren't everything, but of course I believe he's an underachiever, just like his whole team. I actually think, do I want to be a homer and say I believe that projecting going into this season, I say Daniel Jones is better than Carson Wentz. Now, if you were to ask me that, like right now, who's better? Carson Wentz, of course, is better. He got a track record. Then I would say Daniel Jones like a strong 3. Now, my 4, I think Colt McCoy might be the 4th best quarterback in the NFC East. And I think Jalen Hurts might be the 5th best quarterback.
Right.
And I think it's like 4A or B or whatever on Haskins. Like, does he have potential? Yeah. Haskins could be Dante Culpepper, but I think Dante Culpepper is his ceiling. And not just because he's black and Dante Culpepper was black. Their size, their strength, their arm strength, the physical makeup, you know, everything about him reminds me of Dante Culpepper.
Good comparison.
But
how about Jamarcus Russell? How about Jamarcus Russell?
You know, that was coming next. He could be Culpepper or Russell.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an in-between there. I don't know if it's a Jason Campbell in there somewhere. And again, not just saying because he's black. You know, maybe if he was white, I'd compare him to Ben Roethlisberger, to be honest. You know, because they're same size, the way they move around. Mm-hmm. He has to show me he's willing to take the game seriously. And fun on the sideline, taking a selfie, okay. But that's why, you know, not to go another way, that's why I respect our Hall of Fame quarterback so much and the way he conducted himself as a professional, playing in New York City for so many years. Eli doesn't get the credit that he deserved because he was a professional quarterback for so many years. Dwayne Haskins shows me some of that. He can move up the slot on, but he's got to show it to me. Come to work, study, and all that stuff like that.
Cop, give them to me.
Okay. So I'm going to go from bottom to top because I like to go from the root to the fruit. You with me? Okay. So with that being said, real simple. Number 4 is not going to get creative. Haskins. He stinks. He sucks. He's Cardell Jones 2.0. And he just basically sucks. So number 3, real simple for me. I can't believe anybody's really that confused about it, but nevertheless, we are what we are. It's Carson Wentz. Real simple. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. He wears another man's ring. Anybody that has to wear another man's ring simply does not deserve to be in the top 2 slots. The Philadelphia Eagles made a terrible mistake by letting their Superman walk out the door, Nick Foles. And they're making a terrible mistake continuing on with Carson Wentz. Maybe they fix that with your Oklahoma boy, Bad Dog.
He stinks, Cop.
Well, let me tell you what. If you wear another man's ring, you stink too. Number two. Yeah, this is real simple for me too. It's Dak, and Dak stinks. I mean, he stinks too. So here's the bottom line. Dak wishes he could be a first-round draft pick, and he's not. Okay, simple as that. I mean, just look at where he was drafted. Okay, Jerry Jones is a great marketer. He's great at what he does. He sells oil, and he sells Dak Prescott. Okay, sells it with the Cowboy fans because Cowboy fans are all gullible. They all wear the same shit. They're all dumb. They're all stupid, and it's just simple as that. Daniel Jones, in fairness to this ranking system, and I don't care about Haskins, has not had a chance to prove that he deserves to be number 1. But a blind man could tell you that Daniel Jones is clearly going to be the best one in this group. If you don't like this list, you're a booger eater. It's simple as that. I hope that you can come to terms with this list. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. But it is what it is. It's Daniel Jones, Bad Dog. It's Daniel Jones.
I like it. Real quick, we got 180 people in here. So again, thank you guys and girls for being here. I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor if you haven't done so. Hit that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. We're closing in on that. So let's get there. More importantly, make sure you guys and girls go into the description below. The links to all 3 of these gentlemen's channels are there. Please click on those links, sub up their channel, ring the bell so you know when they drop their content. Because, again, these guys are great video makers. You're not going to want to miss it. Benjamin Wynn, thanks for the super chat. Billy says, Kid Blue, let's hit the strip clubs. Benjamin's a big strip club guy. I'm going to give you my list. I do have Carson Wentz number 1. I think Carson Wentz is extremely talented. And I know that he's hurt. I get that. But I'm just saying all things considered equal. He's missed 8 games in 4 years. It's not really that big of a deal. 2017, the guy was going to win the MVP. He had his ACL torn. It is what it is. He's big. He's tall. He's mobile. He's accurate. And he threw for over 4,000 yards with no wide receivers. The guy's done more with less than a lot of quarterbacks. I give him credit. I think Carson Wentz is a very good quarterback. I really do. But he's got to stay healthy. It's a huge question mark.
Almost described Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is number 2. Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. I've said this before. I'll tell you, because put Daniel Jones on Dallas with that offensive line and those weapons. Daniel Jones is not going 8-8 with that team. There's no way Daniel Jones going 7-4
I agree.
on Dallas. Put Dak on the Giants. He would absolutely suck on this team if he was running for his life. Daniel Jones threw 24 touchdowns in 12 games. Dak threw 30 touchdowns in 16 games, and 14 of them were against Washington and the Giants.
And us.
1 and 6 against winning teams, okay? With a great team, mind you. Ezekiel Elliott, top 5 running back in the league. Amari Cooper, one of the best receivers in the league.
O-line.
Yeah, one of the best O-lines in the league. And, you know, they're 8-8. So I think Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott because Daniel Jones did a lot more with less than Dak Prescott's done. And I just say just switch the positions. And I could say that in college. I mean, Haskins is obviously last. I didn't like Haskins at Ohio State. But Daniel Jones on Ohio State, they probably win a natty. You put Dwayne Haskins on Duke, he's not drafted. Okay. I mean, it's Haskins,
man,
6 NFL guys on the offense at Ohio State. He played with superior talent, and I knew that wasn't going to translate to the NFL because Washington's a mess. So, no, I don't like Haskins. I don't like Hurts, though, either. I'm an Oklahoma guy, and I don't like Hurts at all. I don't think Hurts is a very good quarterback. I couldn't believe he was taken second or in the second round. That was shocking to me. I thought that guy was a third-round pick at best. He wasn't good in Alabama either. He just had really good teams around him. So it makes a difference. There's a big transition from college to the NFL because you're not – when you're in the big – especially the Big 12 – you're not going against many NFL defenders in that conference. It's the weakest Power 5 conference in the country, and anybody that watches the Big 12 knows this. They're not known for defense. Okay, when you go to the NFL, you got the best of the best. You know, your best college teams may have 4 or 5 guys on defense that are going to the NFL, and they're not all going in the first round. So I just think it's a much tougher animal. But I definitely think Daniel Jones can be better than Carson Wentz. I don't think he's there yet. But give him, like you said, Hartster, give him a year, or maybe it was Kid Blue. Yeah. Give him a year. Give him this year. By his third year, he'll be the best quarterback in this division. And I have the utmost faith in him. And he's way better than Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold stinks. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, when you describe Carson Wentz, it sounds like you were describing Daniel Jones. He's big, he's tall, he's mobile. He's accurate. Like that was the exact. It was almost like you were describing Daniel Jones, but
Wentz has better arm strength than Jones, but Jones's arm strength is extremely underrated. And Jones, the thing I love about Daniel Jones is, number one, I mean, shout out to Giants Alliance. I saw him in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still in there, but gave me one of the best stats ever, that Daniel Jones was the most accurate quarterback in the NFL in passes over 20 yards in the air. Now, this completion percentage was down because nobody can catch the ball in the Giants. It's like, was it Duke? It's the same thing at Duke.
They weren't getting separation. They weren't getting separation. Yeah.
So, but he's very accurate as a rookie, filling in. This guy was booed by 95% of the fans, myself included, when we picked him. Okay.
Yes, me too.
He had to fill in the shoes he had to fill were enormous. You're filling in for a Walter Payton Man of the Year, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and the greatest quarterback in the history of a 95-year franchise. This guy had all that pressure on his back in his first game. He drives us down and wins the game against Tampa Bay with 4 total touchdowns. That told me right there, this kid has what it takes to succeed.
On the 4th and 6.
I'm excited to see what Daniel Jones does. I'm excited for Jason Garrett to come out. I'm excited that they fix the offensive line. Daniel Jones is going to be a top 10 quarterback in the league this year, and he's going to the Pro Bowl. Those are my bold predictions. I stand by them.
Yeah. Brunson says it's a 2-team race, Eagles and Giants.
I like hearing that, Brunson.
I like that. There was a lot of Eagles fans that say the Giants are going better than the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
I love it. Wilkie, thank you.
I'm just glad that Laura Brunson took the time from Stop, Circle, Jerk, and Fist Vegas to come over here and hang out with us for a little bit.
My God.
Listen, LB is the man. LB, I love working with LB.
He's a wonderful man.
I subbed LB up after seeing him on the NFC Roundtable, man. I really, his personality, man. By my comment, watching him stare down, who is it, Louis T? Watching him stare down Louis T was the equivalent of watching a battle rap. And when you see how the rapper's waiting for his turn, and he's like, this one of the guys rapping, that's exactly what it looked like. I was dying laughing watching that. When Louis T was trying to say that the Redskins were going to win like 6 or 7 games, and he was just watching like he was licking his chops like, I got a kick out of that, man.
Yeah, those are good, man. Wilkie, thanks for the super chat. Brilly says, what up, man? Like, what up, Wilkie? And the CWC, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly says, 4 great guys. Hope to be here soon with my new channel. All right, well, shout out to you for having a new channel. I'll make sure to check that out. Okay, this is the other question I like to ask, and we'll start with you this time, Cop. Predict the records for each team in the NFC East.
This is gonna be nice.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see this one.
0-16, 0-16, 0-16, 15-0.
Love it.
Well, to be fair, they can't. All 3 of them can't be 0-16 because they play each other twice.
Laura Brunson. So anyway, I think what we'll get here is, so the Redskins obviously stink.
They're awful.
You know what? I'm going to give them. Well, wait, we can't call them Redskins anymore, can we?
The Washington team.
Yeah.
What do we call them?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Deadskins.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into it. Anyways, they're a 4-win ball club, so they'll win about 4 games. I'm going to say, see here, the Eagles, they had a window, and like I said, they let their Superman walk, so they had their opportunity. I'm going to say that they are a 7-9 team.
I agree with that.
I'm going to say the Giants, believe it or not, I don't know where I fall on the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be, believe it or not, a 9-7 or 8-8 team. And I think the Cowboys are a 11-5 team.
Okay. Yeah.
That's as fair as I possibly can be. Okay.
No, and that's fair. Listen,
We love it, Cop.
If you can't appreciate that, I don't know what to tell you.
listen, no, Cop, you're not alone. There's a lot of
I hate
people.
the Cowboys.
There's a lot of people that think the Giants are going to be better than the Eagles this year. They really is. I think the same thing. The Eagles they got older players, they got bad contracts, and they had the worst draft of any team in this division.
Window closed.
Heartstorm Media, give me your predictions for the division.
Man. So first, I think Washington wins with Haskins starting the whole season. I think they win 3 games. Like, even though, because I think he's going to go through the learning curve that Daniel Jones has already went through. I think, if they talk about our schedule being hard, theirs is equally as hard. They're going to go through some, they're going to run into some bad team that's going to do some damage to them. And I think they'll start to have mental lapses throughout the season. I don't think it's going to be all physical thing with them. I think mentally, rookie quarterback might get a little rattled, whatever the case be. And, I couldn't imagine a not so mentally strong person like quarterback in the New York Giants. So that's that. I think they'll win 3 games. I think my Giants will be 9-7. I think if we beat both Pittsburgh and the Rams, that gets us to 10 wins. But I think we'll win either one of them games. I believe I said in the video we'll split with the Eagles and the Cowboys both.
I hope so.
And we got a couple of little fringe games out there. We'll lose to Baltimore, we'll lose to San Fran, a couple things. So I think we're 9-7, 10-6 possibly. Now this is the thing. I don't know which team is going to be 8-8 and which team is going to be 9-7 with us. The Eagles or the Cowboys. I really believe they're like interchanging. The Eagles had a bad draft, but I think they did get a little better. They got a couple of receivers, they'll get healthier. So will they win 9 games again, or will they win 10? The Cowboys are the same. I think they got a little better, but I think they got a lot of mental stuff going on up there too. So will they hit that wall where they keep losing to good teams and then they can't beat up on us anymore? So now are the Cowboys at 9-7 or 8-8? I can't really tell. I think we'll be a solid 9-7 or 10-6. The Eagles are either going to be 9-7 or 10-6, and the Cowboys will either be 8-8 or 9-7. And I think the only team that goes to the playoffs from this division is the division winner. I know the wild card is not coming out of NFC East. For us to get in the playoffs, we got to win the division.
Yeah, we all have a tough schedule this year. There's no doubt about that. Kid Blue, give me your predictions for the division.
All right, so this time I'll start from the bottom. So Washington, obviously, I think that's unanimous at this point. Washington, 4 or 5 wins tops. Even if you try to be optimistic, I don't know what it is about Washington. Their roster on paper always looks great, but they just never perform. Their defense on paper is like the Alabama defense. It is what it is, but they just never perform. So I give them 4 or 5 wins tops. The Giants. I've been saying this, and I don't want to get too optimistic and drink the Kool-Aid, so I'll just stick by what I've been saying for a while now. I think 7-9 is a realistic number for the Giants, and it's not a bad number either. It's not a bad record by any stretch of the imagination. I think if you go 7-9, yes, you have a losing season, but I think it's a big step up from where this team was, and to have a whole new head coach, whole new coaching staff in a pandemic where everything's changing, to get to 7-9 from a terrible regime, a previous regime, so I like 7-9 for the Giants. As far as the Eagles go, I'm going to have them going 7-9 as well. And the Giants could easily get to 8-8 if they beat the Eagles 1-1 or maybe even sweep them. So 8-8, 9-7 can get there, but I see the Eagles going 7-9 as well. And the Cowboys, I'll have them going 11. I think they're going to run away with the division. I don't think any team is competing with the Cowboys. I do think we're going to beat the Cowboys once with Jason Garrett's experience, along with the offensive line coach there as well. I do think we'll beat the Cowboys once, but I think the Cowboys are running away with it with 11-5.
Really? See,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just on the Eagles bandwagon. I don't know. See, I think the Eagles win the division. I think they win the tiebreaker. I think them and Dallas end up with the same record. I think the Eagles have a big advantage because their coaching staff is the same. And all three of these teams have different coaching staffs. And there are no OTAs, there are no mini camps, there are no there's nothing.
Right,
these guys have to come in and get acclimated like on the fly. So I think the Eagles have the advantage out of the gate. I do think that the team with the best record within this division, like if the Giants go 5-1 in this division, we're winning the division. The team in this division, whoever beats up on the other teams is winning the division because all of us have tough schedules outside of it. I don't think anybody beats the Ravens. I don't think anybody beats the Niners. I don't think.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, Simus, slow your roll, Simus.
Oh, I was going to say I don't think the Eagles are beating the Saints. You know, I don't think the Cowboys are beating who they play the Vikings. Like I don't think they're beating the Vikings. So I don't think any team in this division is winning 10 games. I really don't. But the one thing I'll say about the Eagles, they just find a way to win. As much as I hate that. I mean, after they lost to the Dolphins, they were 5-7. They're done. If somehow they win the last 4 games and make the play, so I just never count them out. Doug Peterson finds a way. So I don't know. I have a hard time counting them out until they're not there. With the Giants, I think our basement's 6 wins. I think that's our basement. But when I predicted this, I had the Cowboys and Eagles sweeping us. I had us losing to the Cardinals, but there's no reason to think we can't beat the Cardinals. There's no reason to think we can't split with Dallas and Philadelphia. It's just we've lost to them for so many years. They have to show me they can close these games out because we've had these guys beat for the last 3 years. At least one game, and it always gets away. Now, coaching had a lot to do with that. I don't think Joe Judge will allow that to happen. I do it every year. I give us 6 wins before the season starts. And as it gets closer, it's like, oh, we're going to get 8 wins. We're going to get 9 wins. So trust me, by the time the season starts, I'll be saying the Giants are going 9-7. That's how it happens.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
I'd say we might as well just name them the Floors. We're going to sweep their ass like we do every year anyway. They're a 4-win team. Their offense is terrible. Outside of Terry McLaurin, they got nothing that scares you. Their offensive line's bad. They got no tight ends. They got no other wide receivers. They got a bunch of banged up and older running backs. I don't like him at all. Ron Rivera's not an offensive guy anyway. They have a good, formidable front 7, but they're always hurt too. Those guys are always banged up.
Right.
So I just have no faith in Washington. If the Giants own a team with as bad as we've been, they got no chance. We own Washington. So I don't like their quarterback. I don't like their line. I love AP, but AP's, he's getting older and Tice has been hurt. You don't know what you're going to get from Bryce Love. I don't think they're a very good team. And now they got this mess with their ownership. I don't think they're going to be in the right mindset. I think they're in the basement. So those are my predictions as far as the NFC East goes. So
hey, Bad Dog.
Yes.
You sounded a lot like Jim Mora when in the press conference where he was like, we couldn't do diddly poo. We couldn't we couldn't run. We couldn't get a first down. When we got a first down, we turned it over. That's how you sounded talking about the Redskins.
Playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game. Stu Abe, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says a player-related bowl prediction for each of the other NFC East squads. It's an interesting question. Before we get to that, I want to ask these guys this. Heartstorm, we'll start with you. Give me our draft grade and your favorite player that we drafted this year.
Okay, so the Giants, and I did a video on this too, the Giants didn't draft any of the players that I wanted them to draft. I wanted them to draft Isaiah Simmons first. When Yetur Gross-Matos fell to us, I wanted them to draft him. The fact that we didn't draft Isaiah Simmons, but drafted Xavier McKinney, it made up for it because similar type players, but just maybe 4 inches shorter and maybe a little, slower 40 time. So they offset. So the first 2 picks, I love them because they came together. Had they not come together, I would hate both of them. So later on in the line, I like Shane Lemieux. I like Peart. I like what we did down the line. I wasn't a fan of Darnay Holmes' pick, but I'm becoming a fan of it now. Learned a lot about the guy, whatever the case would be. I wanted us to get a receiver with some size, maybe Gandy Golden later on, something like that. It was a couple of guys I wanted. They didn't get any of the guys I like. So that's the only reason I can't give them an A or A+. But the fact that when you look at how it's shaped up all together, I got to give them an A- because they got a bunch of guys that we really needed that I believe are going to develop and like do volumes for the team. So even though they got none of my guys, they did really good. So I'm gonna give them an A-. I don't think we had a bad pick. And then post-draft, we got a couple of exciting players too.
Definitely. So, before we get to Cobb, I just want to get OGR Sports, Brilly. He says, look at this all-star cast. Cheers, guys. Pizzle, congrats on the new baby. Also, Pizzle, don't get tipsy on this roundtable.
They must know something about Pizzle. I don't know.
Hell no. The last time we had a roundtable with Pizzle, I don't know. We don't know what he was drinking, but we were just like, God, what's in that glass? He's like,
he was gone.
Water.
He was gone.
He was gone. Cobb, give me your draft grade for the Giants and your favorite player that we took.
First of all, I'm always like this. I don't need any beverage to take me over the top. I'm already there. So here's the deal. This is kind of a two-part answer to me. For me, Xavier McKinney is my favorite pick. Love him. I think he's going to be a New York superstar. Okay, I think he is going to be one of the best. I just think he's going to be a superstar in New York. I do. I think he's going to be on the level of an Aaron Judge per se. I think he's just going to be a big deal. I think he's going to be great for the Giants. But I think that's a very popular pick. To me, my favorite pick, or at least one that I think is very sneaky, is Sean Lemieux. Shane Lemieux. Shane Lemieux. I think this is a old school New York Giants offensive lineman who is going to come in and play center. I think he's going to play center. Okay. He's nasty. I love his damn hair. He wears these nice, cool elbow pads, and he knows how to. And if you watch him, he loves to pound the run.
Yeah, he's a mauler. A mauler.
Saquon Barkley is going to get so much love and attention. Obviously, we've got half of the roundtable tonight wearing his jersey, but the reason why Saquon Barkley will be so successful is because of guys like Lemieux are going to be clearing the lane, and he's just going to be a guy who's going to do his job. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be starting center for the Giants this year.
Yep.
This year.
This
year. Lemieux. Elbow pads. Oregon. Nice hair. I love him.
But what's the grade, though? You didn't give us a grade.
Oh, fucking A+.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yeah, L.A. Lou, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says Dallas isn't the power of the division. They were Super Bowl favorites last year, finished 8-8. McCarthy and CeeDee Lamb won't make a difference. I agree. I think McCarthy's overrated as hell. Simon Brilly, he says Dak can't handle West Coast offense. Birds, wide receiver injured. Giants Lions, I'm going to ask that question next. Brilly says who will lead the team in receiving yards? But Kid Blue, give me your draft grade and your favorite pick that we took.
Oh, okay. So my favorite pick, I'm on the opposite side of Hearthstone Media. He said that he didn't get anybody. The Giants didn't draft anybody that he wanted. The Giants drafted a couple players that I wanted.
You're a big Parrott guy, right?
I'm a huge Matt Parrott guy. I was watching film on offensive linemen early in the offseason and came across Matt Parrott, and I was like, the Giants need this guy if we don't get Isaiah Simmons in the first round. And on top of that, I'm a huge Andrew Thomas guy. I never was on the bandwagon of Tristan Wirfs or any of these other clowns out there that just came out of nowhere and was the best offensive tackle on the board. Andrew Thomas was my guy, so I was extremely excited about that. And Matt Parrott was my guy. Xavier McKinney, I'm not mad about Xavier McKinney whatsoever. I just think the Giants do not have a true free safety. I think Xavier McKinney is more of a box guy, closer to the line of scrimmage guy, along with Jabril Peppers. So it's going to be interesting how they utilize those guys there, how they interchange them. The offensive line was revamped. Obviously, Parrott, Thomas, Shane Lemieux. I think by the end of the season, all three of these guys are probably going to wind up starting. Even Matt Parrott. I'm that big on Matt Parrott. So then it got a little questionable drafting 3 inside linebackers when we re-signed Mayo. We signed Blake Martinez. That's confusing, but I don't really care. That's the end of the draft. So I'm gonna give the draft an A. I want to go A+, but like I said, I wanted Antoine Winfield instead of Xavier McKinney, so that's why I can't really give it the A+. But I'm gonna give it a solid, very solid A. I'm extremely excited with where this direction the team is going.
We definitely filled a lot of holes, and I was glad that they addressed the offensive line. I was an Isaiah Simmons guy, too. I'm a defensive guy, but there's no doubt we needed a left tackle.
Mhm.
I did a video back in November, and how high I thought of Andrew Thomas. I did a video said, would you rather have Chase Young or Andrew Thomas? That's how much I thought of Andrew Thomas. As the draft approached, there was no talk about Andrew Thomas going to the Giants. We heard about Wills and Wirfs. These are like, do not take Tristan Wirfs, please. I will not be happy with that. Definitely did not want Becton. I was super excited when we got Andrew Thomas. I loved him. I loved him at Georgia. This is a kid that gave up 1 sack in his his time in Georgia. 1, and he gave up no quarterback last year in the SEC. Extremely impressive young man. One thing Vach said last night, big Cowboys guy. The Giants' offensive line is now nasty. He said the problem with the Giants' offensive line, you got a soft guy and a nasty guy. Like you got soft Solder, and then you got nasty Will Hernandez. Now you got nasty Andrew Thomas next to nasty Will Hernandez. You got nasty Shalem, you got nasty Matt, but now your offensive line is nasty together.
Molly's, baby.
So you're going to see the Giants' offensive line is going to be a lot more formidable. And he said, like in a year, they're going to be like the Dallas offensive line. That coming from a Cowboys fan, that really, made me excited. I would give us a B+. I don't think we addressed the wide receiver spot. Now, I am excited about Benjamin Victor. There's no doubt about that. I think he could definitely make this team without a doubt. We don't really have a number 1 guy, but we have so many holes. Like you said, Kibble, I don't understand the 3 linebackers in the 7th round. That was kind of iffy to me. But McKinney was definitely my favorite pick. We needed a safety bad. I talked about Whitfield. I talked about Jeremy Chin. I talked about Grant Delpit. I never thought McKinney would fall there.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
He graded higher in every aspect over Isaiah Simmons. Huge steal at number 2. No doubt he was my favorite pick. I think the Giants nailed this draft, though. But I'll tell you who I'm most excited about, man, and that is Javon Leake. Like I was a big Anthony McFarland guy. And one of my subscribers said, Bad Dog, check out his backfield mate, Javon Leake. Check him out. He might even be better than Anthony McFarland. And man, that guy is. And our running back, we have so little depth of running back with Deion Lewis there. And who the hell is the other guy we got there? Deion Lewis.
Coleman.
Then we brought back Wayne Coleman.
I think Javon Leake's going to end up being the backup before the year is over. And I think
Wayne Coleman
this team. I like Javon Leake a lot. So I loved our draft. I think we nailed it again. I think the Giants are going to be. We're going to move in the right direction. Like I said, give us 2 years, we're going to be winning this division.
3 out of 3 drafts. 3 out of 3 drafts that Dave Gettleman had just nailed them.
Yeah.
And that's how you build championships.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
What does Darius Slayton got to do to not be proven to be a number 1 receiver? I don't.
You upset him with that one, Bad Dog.
He's got to get a little more separation from me, Kyle. He's got to get a little more separation from me, Kyle. I love Darius Slayton, but he's got to get some separation from me.
Separation? He
makes the catches
last year.
He makes the contested catches, but he has to be more open. It causes problems in the defense when guys get open.
What I'll say is this, Cop. I love Slayton. I think.
Go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I think he can turn into a number, but I'm not ready to give it to him yet after 1 season. I guess I know you love. Listen, Slayton was a huge pick.
Yeah, he's great.
A big season. But I would like what I would like is another outside receiver to go along with him. I don't think Tate or Shepard are outside receivers per se. So maybe I should have said a number 1 receiver guy. Maybe I just should have said an outside receiver to go alongside him because I just don't.
I'm with you. Like Tate, first of all, I think Tate is a little bit better than he gets credit for. Although I'm not a big Golden Tate guy. Sterling Shepard got that dog in him, but he's truly a slot receiver. Okay, who we've got to play outside.
Always
hurt. Yeah.
Always hurt. But I actually, this is to piggyback on to going back to something Kid Blue said, and he didn't understand why we drafted so many linebackers. I was completely okay with what they did for offensive line and linebackers because to me, both of those units have been piss poor the last several years. When's the last time the Giants had a good linebacker? A really
Antonio Pierce, man.
Okay, that was 20. Seems like 20 years ago. So the point I'm saying is we brought in a stack of dudes to compete. They got to go out there and find out who's going to come out of the woods with that bone, if you know what I'm saying. They got to find a way who's going to earn their starting spot, not just be given to them. So for me, I am completely okay to sacrifice the receiver position because Coach Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman know they got a number 1 receiver in Darius Slayton. He's a superstar. I don't know when everybody else is going to figure it out, but he's a superstar. We needed to address the linebackers and offensive line, and we created competition there. And with that competition, I'm telling you, we're going to have some dogs in them spots.
Yeah.
We're going to have some dogs.
Well, speaking of the linebackers, OGR Sports, really, no love for my golden gopher, Carter Coughlin. Carter Coughlin is a guy that a lot of guys like. He had one of the highest totals of quarterback pressures in the country last year.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys definitely like Carter Coughlin. It's just, I mean, for me, I guess it'd be difficult to say my favorite pick's a guy in the 7th round. There's a reason they go that late. So, that's why I wouldn't. But I mean, listen, I'm excited to see what all these guys do. I think the worst pick we took was Cam Brown. I don't really understand that. I think all the other guys have some. I don't know about Cam Brown.
I like Tate Crowder.
Who's the other guy that the cornerback we took there at the end?
Chris Williamson.
Williamson. Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
He's like a safety. He's like a corner, but the way he moves is like a safety.
Yeah. So Benjamin, thanks for the super chat. Brilly says, just say it with me. The Giants will lose week 4. Well, we play the Rams. He's a Rams fan, and we owe you one.
I'll give him that.
The last time we played you guys, you kicked our ass 51-13. I think we owe you. So, Cruz on 26, my man. Brilly, brother. He says, I agree with Kid Blue. I preferred Winfield, a true free safety. We basically got 2 box safety. I think McKinney I don't think he's as much of a box safety as people think. I think McKinney can cover a lot better than people think. I really do. But I think part of the reason we took him is because Joe Judge wants that versatility. And you're going to have a lot of versatility with Peppers and McKinney and all those linebackers. So I think that's a big reason they took McKinney. But I loved Winfield too. I mean, Winfield was an amazing talent. There's no doubt about that. So
I think we might get 7 sacks out of the safety.
DWG.
Hey, listen, I said, my bold prediction was that this year that I said McKinney would have as many sacks as Isaiah Simmons. I think he's good. I think the Giants going to bring pressure from the secondary because you don't have a true pass rusher.
Yeah.
And I see my boy DWG. Yeah, my main man. But yeah, that was awesome. So I will go to Giants Alliance's question. We'll start with you, Kid Blue. Who leads the team in receiving yards this year?
I'm gonna go with the main man, Darius Slayton. Man, I think right off the bat he's gonna be given the opportunity. The Giants are. I'll tell you one thing: the Giants are gonna want to get him started early. There's not gonna be any, playing around with that. They're not gonna just try Shepard, try Tate. Darius Slayton's probably gonna be thrown in there, and hey, go deep and catch the ball. That's what they're gonna have Darius Slayton do to pick up where he left off last year. I agree with Copizzle. I think the Giants think that they know that they have a gem in Darius Slayton. They're going to put all their faith in him. I'm going to say Darius Slayton. He's going to reach 1,000 yards and probably 10 touchdowns. I'll
tell you what, he had an amazing game against the Jets. I was there to see that.
Oh, man, that was awesome. That was awesome.
That was good. Daniel Jones had a great game. The Giants offense did, except for the strip sack, which was embarrassing.
Jamal Adams.
That was embarrassing. Of course, he went right around I never remember right around Chad Wheeler. Chad Wheeler wasn't even there, and they were like, Barkley missed the block. But Barkley had no chance to even get the block.
Yeah. Turn Wheeler.
Cop, do I even need to ask?
Let me just say this because I know this is your channel. There's a guy here his name is Sports Expert 101. He said Slayton is overrated as hell. So first of all,
he's a Browns fan.
I don't know who the hell in the national media said Slayton was one of the best receivers in the world. So that comment sucks. And number 2, on top of that, you can't consult Sports Expert 101 and you said something that dumb. It needs to be Booger Eater 101 or Idiot 101. With that being said, it's Darius Slayton. I don't understand. Like, this guy is going to be a superstar. He's going to be one of the top 10 best players in all of New York sports. I'm putting him up there because you guys need to put some respect on this man's name. Rookie receivers don't ever get anything done in their rookie year. Receivers never do in their rookie year. They always struggle. Look at the stats. Darius Slayton came in and was a superstar for us. He was when Barkley was out, he was the go-to man. He was the man. Daniel Jones, he threw those balls. He threw passes. He won games. Well, guess who was catching them? Darius Slayton. Social distancing himself from the quarterback. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I loved about Slayton, first day of training camp, he didn't know what he was doing. He was all over the place. The coaches reamed him out. Next day he came. He didn't sulk. He didn't pout. He came back. He worked his ass off, and he became the best receiver on the team last year.
Hilarious guy too. I mean, was anybody
DeAndre Baker could do the same. DeAndre Baker, he should do the same. You know, he was having that issue with falling asleep. He should have taken a page from Darius.
He did do the same, Kid Blue. He social distanced himself from the wide receiver. He did.
Yeah.
Hardcore media. Who's gonna? By the way, sports expert. Sports expert's just upset that Darius Slayton destroyed Odell Beckham last year, and that's really what he's a Brown fan. So.
Darius Slayton made us forget about Odell Beckham really quick, and Odell Beckham is wishing he had Eli right now throwing the ball to him.
Real quick before we get in hard, so we just want to say 225 in here. Thank you everybody so much. Really appreciate you joining us for the Giants Roundtable tonight. If you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up. It does help out the stream a lot. More importantly, make sure you guys and girls go into that description. The link to all three of these guys' channels are there. Click on those links, sub them up, ring that bell so you know when they drop content. Like I said, you won't want to miss it. These guys are all great. They do a great job on their channel. Huge Giants fans. And I'm honored to have them on the channel tonight. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys in the chat for being here. Make sure you guys sub these up. Heartstorm Media, who leads the team?
Appreciate it. And we did get to 100 likes, Bad Dog.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so let's think. Darius Slayton, first of all, he's gonna lead the team in receptions. He's gonna lead the team in yards. I think Saquon leads the team in receptions. And I think it's going to be very close to it because I think Darius Slayton really gets us about maybe 1,100 yards because we have such a balance on offense if these guys can stay healthy. And like you said, I think Golden Tate is very underrated. I think he does so many things well, but he doesn't do any one thing great. So I think he gets overlooked a lot. But I think we're going to have such balance. So you're not going to see somebody like Slayton break off for 1,200 or 1,300 or 1,400 yards. I think he's going to get about 1,100. Saquon comes in about 800. Tate, Shepard. And if Ingram could stay healthy all year,
big if.
Ingram could be right next to Slayton at that 1,100 to 1,100 mark.
He started strong last year too. He started the first 3 games where
strong. He got hurt, man. Yeah, started strong, got hurt. Tate would have had 1,200 yards last year had he not missed 4 games with suspension.
Yeah, he missed time.
He lit it up last year.
And Daniel Jones did not play one game where Barkley, Ingram, Shepard, and Tate were on the field at the same time.
Right. It almost happened, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a bombshell on y'all. Sterling Shepard's leading his team in receiving yards this year, man.
It's hard for the slot.
It is time for this guy to be the receiver he was at Oklahoma. I'm very disappointed in Sterling Shepard. I'm not gonna lie. I was so excited when the Giants got this kid. I said, this kid is Victor Cruz. And then that's exactly what I compared to.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been. But I want him to stay out. Sterling Shepard is too good to not be what he needs to be. And I think that's a homer pick. I think that's just me being a Sooner guy, and I want him.
I love Sterling Shepard, man.
But I just Sterling Shepard is because of Slayton's, because of his production on the outside. I think this is going to give Sterling Shepard a lot more opportunities for catches across the middle of the field. And I think with play action passes and a better offensive line and a better running game, I think this also helps Sterling Shepard out a lot. I think both Slayton and Shepard go over 1,000 yards. I think Slayton will have more touchdowns, but I think Sterling Shepard could have the most receiving yards in the team. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, and if you look, Sterling Shepard had a phenomenal year in 2017, but he got hurt. I think he only played 11 games. I had on 800 yards.
Yeah,
he was killing it. 150 yards every game.
And you know what I loved about him? He destroyed the Eagles. He killed the Eagles. He had big games against the Eagles, just like Victor Cruz used to. And I swear to God, when we took Sterling Shepard, I said, this guy is Victor Cruz. And he's been disappointing for me. I'm not going to lie, but I think this year he puts it all together. I really do. And at least I hope he does.
It's the injuries. I think if he stays healthy, he will produce.
Cop, go ahead. I see Cop's hand up in the back of the class. Go ahead.
He just froze. He froze.
Darius Slayton last year had 740 receiving yards last year. Sterling Shepard in 4 seasons with the Giants has only went over that total once.
He's been,
right.
Oh, I agree.
What?
But
due to injury,
a year.
Due to injury, I agree.
That means you're going over 1,000 in 2020 if we get to play football.
Listen, like I said, it might be a homer pick. He's too good to be as bad as he's been. He's got to put it together. This is his year. This is his year.
I love Sterling.
Benjamin throwing shots.
I'm with you. I like him because he even tries to block. A lot of receivers don't even like blocking.
He's good at it. He's good at it.
He's got that dog. I'm with you. But facts are facts. We got to talk facts. Darius Slayton, he's the man. You got to start respecting this man. We got to get some Slayton jerseys sold around here because we're running out of Barkley jerseys.
OGR got a Slayton jersey.
Oh, man.
OGR, the pistol, I guess.
Benjamin Wynn, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He said, just tell Sports Expert his team is the most recent to go 0-16. They're the Browns. Rick's been good. Man, Brilly. He says DJ throws for over 4,000 yards, Sterling for 1,000 yards. Facts. Cruz on 26. Brilly says this is Evan Ingram's year. God, please let it be his year. We could really use Evan Ingram and get the tight end spot what it used to be with the Giants. That was a big offensive production spot. If Ingram's healthy, he creates so many mismatches in the middle of the field against linebackers and safeties. And you have a good running game and can utilize play action. That guy will be open every time. So, and with how good Caden Smith produced at the end of last year, they report Daniel, you could run 2 tight end sets.
Caden Smith, I want to see that.
So
let me tell you something.
Let me say something, Cop, really quick. This is my dream. I want to see a set where it's Evan Ingram, Caden Smith, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton on out. Get that bunch I formation. I want to see a bunch I formation just like 3 times. I want to see them run it 3 straight times and see if a team could stop. Oh, and Rice and John. Evan Ingram, Rice and John, Caden Smith, Saquon Barkley, and put them on the field at the same time and run it 3 times. I want to see if a team can stop from getting a first down.
Cop, go ahead. Cop was cutting us off there.
Okay.
Well, no, we got it. Evan Ingram, I don't understand. He cooked. Okay, he's cooked to the bone. I don't understand it. Like Caden Smith is a legit tight end. He's a real tight end. That's what a real tight end looks like. Evan Ingram, we don't know what he is. Okay, he might be a receiver. I might be a tight end. I don't know. I can't find something up for you. All right, he's just not. How many times are we gonna fall for this?
I know. I hear you.
How many times can you go into the season saying, "Hell yeah, this is Evan Ingram's year"? Like, this girl ain't gonna go on a date with you. She's not. Okay, let it go. We can find somebody else. Her name's Caden Smith.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the importance of Evan. This is why I've been so disappointed with Evan Ingram, man, because the importance that he brings as a mismatch at tight end for NFL defense, the problem that he brings is insane because he's a key factor to a team's success, would be a key factor to a team's success. Being the mismatch that he is, he's going to draw linebacker attention, safety attention. Teams are going to have to roll coverage his way, in the middle of the field. And that opens up the run game. That opens up the slot receiver. It opens up so many possibilities. If Evan Ingram can just stay healthy and consistent, his impact would be insane for everybody, the receivers, especially the slot receivers, and the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like I said, you have a new offensive line. You got a quarterback that's mobile. You have the best quarterback in the league. When you can run the ball and you can start using play action, it freezes the linebackers. Once a linebacker, Ingram's by him. I think that's why we're so high in Ingram because of the talent. But Cop's right. The guy, every year we do fall for this.
Yeah,
this is his year. And last year he started off with 100 yards against Dallas, and then he was gone the rest of the year.
Right.
So it is. It's like the girl with the curl. Cops, that girl ain't going to go out with you, but just shit, that girl's hot, and you want to keep trying. It's like I want to be mine. I get it. You
got to let her go. Caden Smith is a legit tight end.
I love Caden Smith. I
like Caden Smith. He's like a Bear Pascal type guy, where he's not a big name, but he's gonna make the impact for you at tight end.
Yeah. He's the Ryan Connolly of the offense.
Yeah.
He had 28 catches in the last 4 games.
But nobody, everyone looks at Evan Ingram because he's the sexier tight end.
Yeah.
He's saying, drafted high, got the look, this and that, but he's not a legit tight end.
Yeah, listen, man. Evan Ingram is that really hot sports car that you hope starts up on a winter morning in New York, where, you know, Caden Smith is that CRV that you turn the key one time and that thing's going to go. It's always going to run, you know, so that's what it is. You know.
And on top of that, think about all of the great tight ends the Giants have had over the years that were they weren't national, you know, headline tight end names.
Right? Yeah, we've always had the workman.
Yeah, exactly.
Bear Pasco.
Yeah. Jeremy Shockey might have been a little bit more mainstream media, sports media, but he was nasty. He had a nasty side to him.
Yeah,
that was Giants football. It's just, you know, I can't let go.
Benjamin Wynn, thanks for the super chat. Brilly says, Pizzle is saying in elementary school, you don't have to raise your hand. 26, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly says, we drafted Shepard over Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
a lot of teams drafted receivers over Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you have Drew Brees thrown to you, it helps. You know, when you're on a good team like New Orleans has been a good team, it helps. It helps. Giants haven't been good since Sterling Shepard got here. Well, we were good, but that was mostly defense. We never had an offensive line for Sterling Shepard. We never had an offensive line for our quarterbacks to succeed here.
Yeah.
You know, Drew Brees has time to locate Michael Thomas down the field. So, you know, maybe if Sterling Shepard was on, that's the tough thing about it. If Michael Thomas is a Giant, do you think he has the same success that he has in New Orleans? You know what I mean? If Sterling Shepard's on New Orleans, do you think he produces as poorly as he has with the Giants? That's the toughest thing about. I mean, obviously, there's some receivers that you just see, like Randy Moss is just ultra talented. Okay, I mean, there's just guys that are like next level talented, you know. But at the same time, there's guys like that you know, some receivers just benefit from their surroundings because they're on a really good situation. So it's tough. But yeah, Michael Thomas is one of the top 5 receivers in this league, and there's no question about that. But a lot of teams missed on Michael Thomas, to be fair.
Hey, I got a challenge for you guys. Now, Bad Dog, I know you don't have time to pull this off, but Cop and Kid Blue, you might have time to pull it off. Go back last 5 years, and not out of the top of your head. I want to see a video of this from you guys. All the picks that we missed on. I love it. I'm thinking about doing it myself.
Oh, man, we can go back.
It takes time.
5 years, man. I could go back 10 years.
I did that video 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I did that video.
I'm talking
to be a miss. It has to be like, you know, we drafted a guy that was a bust or way worse, and another guy fell behind that we could have got. And not like we drafted somebody in the first round and then somebody in the third round turned out to be great because nobody thought, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say 2 rounds worth of teams missed on Dak Prescott. You know, now they missed on Russell Westbrook. That's another story. A bunch of teams missed on Russell Westbrook, but he wasn't on anybody's radar like that. So
yeah, well, that would take a 2-hour live stream to go back and on all the team picks we missed. You know, about that. We missed Laramie Tunsil. That was a big miss.
That's the one. Laramie Tunsil was the
one. You know, Zueb, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, he says, who will be the starting nickel corner? I think it's Darnay Holmes.
Darnay Holmes.
Yeah. I think it'll be Darnay Holmes. Jerry trash definitely was. All right, this is always a fun question. We'll start with you, Kid Blue.
All right.
Give me your favorite player in this division that's not on the New York Giants.
Oh man.
It could be now, it could be all time. Just give me your favorite player in this division that's not a Giant.
Favorite player in this division that is not a Giant. Man, I can't say anybody on the Cowboys. I just can't stand the Cowboys at all. So that's not even in the question. I can't stand Dak, can't stand Zeke, can't stand any of them. I'd probably have to say Carson Wentz. I was a big Carson Wentz fan. I still follow Carson Wentz on social media. I like him as a person, like him as a player. I'd probably have to say Carson Wentz.
Cop, who do you think?
He's gonna say
I know.
I hate.
He's gonna start bleeding from his ears.
Yeah, I know. I hate to say. It makes me sick. It's Cowboys Vander Esch.
Yeah.
I think he's
Vander Esch
badass.
good. Yeah, I'm a Boise State fan too. So I mean, I can say
badass.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That guy is a freaking beast. And remember when the Cowboys
he's somebody who can actually. He's a great tight end who you can count on, and he's a leader.
Yeah.
And that's what makes he's just a great. He seems like a great player and just a great great person as well.
Cowboys fans are so mad when they drafted him.
Oh, they were.
So
They were
drafted
pissed.
him. Cowboys fans haven't been happy with any of their draft picks in years. They hated the Zach Martin pick. They hated the Van Der Esch pick. And, it's just like Daniel Jones. Like I said, 95% of Giants fans did not like that pick.
Right.
And now that Daniel Jones actually showed to be something, 95% were like, oh, I was on board with that. I know Cop liked it from the beginning. And I know Rover liked it from the beginning. They were at the draft together.
Oh, yeah. Rover's reaction was hilarious.
There were definitely guys that were on board with it immediately. I have never claimed to be on board with it immediately. I said it took me a week to go back and watch film, and then I was on board. Once I actually paid attention to what he did, I like him. He's more athletic than I thought. He played with no talent. I get it. The first thing I thought of with Duke was Dave Brown. So, of course, I lost my shit, and I wanted Josh Allen. I mean, that was the whole reason that storm came together, and that reaction came out of me, which I'll never live down for as long as I live. I always say if the Giants win a Super Bowl, and then there's an America's game, my reaction's going to be on that stupid thing. I'm going to go, oh, yeah, there it is. So I will never live that down, but I was completely wrong about that. And, it's what a live reaction is. Eli Apple, my live reaction, Eli Apple was much worse than that. I hated Eli. God, I hated that.
Yeah, that was insane.
Heartstar Media, who is your favorite player in the
favorite in the NFC all time? I actually don't like any of the people that play for any of the teams right now. If I had to pick somebody right now, it would have been Jay Novacek, but now he's retired.
Yeah, I would say, now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would say Randall Cunningham.
I love the
growing up. I really loved watching Randall Cunningham play. Was something special to see. And Deion Sanders, for the brief time that he was playing with the Cowboys, I could not help but to enjoy watching Deion play, except for when he played against us. But when Deion was with the Cowboys, I enjoyed it. So can't say I rooted for the team, but I enjoyed watching Deion play for them.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I really liked in this. I was a big Riggins guy, a big John Riggins guy, big Darryl Green guy. But and I liked Cunningham, even though he killed us. I liked Reggie White. But I mean, if I had to pick somebody, it's Eric Allen. I've always said Eric Allen is one of the most underrated cornerbacks ever. The guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not there. And I said I would never, ever in my life buy an Eagles jersey ever. But if I was ever to buy one, it would be that 1989 Eric Allen, that light white jersey with the red eagle. I loved that jersey. I almost bought that jersey. I loved Eric Allen. I loved it. I was so much happier when he went to the Saints. But I loved Eric Allen. He was such a great corner that got no credit. The Eagles defense was really good back. They had a lot of really good defensive players. And I hated that. I mean, I hate that team with a passion because I hated Buddy Ryan, but there was a lot of good Cowboys. I really don't think I ever really had a guy that I liked on the Cowboys. I hated Emmitt Smith. I hated Michael Irvin. Tony Dorsett would probably be the guy for me. Yeah. But I never liked the Cowboys.
Never liked the Cowboys.
Nixon, thank you for the super chat. Billy says Miles Jack is a guy we missed on. Yes, we did miss Miles Jack too. We did miss on Miles Jack too. Well, let me ask you guys this. Cop, we'll start with you. What do you think would be considered a successful season for the Giants this year?
At least 7 wins.
Okay.
At least. And honestly, I think the pandemic is going to hurt them. But I think we have a very superior coaching staff. I think our coaching staff is very good. Very good. I'm extremely happy with it. And then we've got players too who are ready to take the next step. Obviously Slayton, Jones, Barkley. We've got guys on the defense who are ready to take another step. So to me, if we can get back to that winning season number, somewhere between there, get close to it, then we can take the next step the following year. I don't think, I don't know if we can get 9-7 this year, because we have to be realistic of how many years in a row we've been piss poor, drafting basically in the top 5 every year. But I think we can get around that winning record number that will be a successful season.
Just an add-on question. You mentioned the coaching staff, which I think every Giants fan is exciting for the coaching staff. Who was your favorite coach that they brought in this year?
Oh man,
I love Jason. I don't think Jason Garrett was the problem for Dallas.
I don't either. Jerry
I
Jones.
think Jerry Jones was the problem in Dallas.
Yep.
I think Jason Garrett is a great head coach. I do. I'm not. He's a great coach. Maybe not a great head coach, but I think he could be a great coach. And I think you pair a smart guy like him, right, Ivy League degree, with a guy like Daniel Jones, that is going to be perfect. If he made Dak Prescott look good, he's going to make Daniel Jones look like a New York superstar.
I agree. I loved the Garrett thing.
I love Jason Garrett. I'm telling you, I love him.
I did too. I was happy. That's why I think Daniel Jones is going to be a top 10 quarterback in the Pro Bowl this year. I really do. I love, because he did that with Tony Romo. Tony Romo was nothing before Garrett got there. And then Romo was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, granted, they had a lot of talent, but still, Romo was nothing. Romo was undrafted. And Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick. And Garrett, guys that are Pro Bowlers.
You're exactly right. Look at the quarterbacks that have been good while Jason Garrett has been the head coach for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Tell me, I mean, these guys were not top first-round draft picks.
Nope.
Neither one of them were.
Nope.
For a reason.
And he still made it work. Like Dallas does not. I mean, I think they really screwed up tremendously. I do. I think Jerry Jones was forced to make a decision because Cowboy fans are dummies, and we will be rewarded for their stupidity.
Yeah, they say we're gonna. They think Garrett was. I don't either. I agree with you. I think it was Jerry Jones. PTA Brilly says, "All right, guys, heading out. Open invite for you guys to come over and talk football with me. Take care and go Giants." Yes, PTA has a great channel over there, and he was on the channel last week, so it was a lot of fun to work with him. Kid Blue, what do you consider a successful season for the Giants? And I'll ask you the same thing. Who's your favorite coach that they brought in this year?
I'm definitely on board right now with what Copizzle said. I think seven wins is extremely successful for me. I think I'll be extremely satisfied with that. Like I said, especially with the whole things that's going on in the world right now, the pandemic, and a lot of changes going on to the NFL, a lot of adversity that they're about to face. You know, new coaching staff, rookie head coach. If they get to 7 wins, I think that's above and beyond what we can ask for. I honestly think that because, you know, like Copizzle said, it's going to hurt them. It's gonna test their ability to face adversity. So I think 7 wins is right around where I would be extremely happy with. As far as my favorite coach goes, I have a couple of them, man. Like Sean Spence, the defensive line, I think is going to help the defensive line tons from Penn State. Mark Colombo is somebody I never would have thought would even come to the Giants because of the track record with the offensive line. But Mark Colombo was brought in with Jason Garrett. So I would have my top 2, I would have to say, is Jason Garrett and Mark Colombo. Jason Garrett, I made a whole separate video on him. I think he's going to be the best addition that the Giants brought in this year, and that's including players. I think his addition to the team and the type of coaching style that he brings, exactly what the Giants needed for so long. Run the football, run play action a ton, with Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, and do some rollouts. That's exactly what the Giants needed for years now. And Jason Garrett, that's a specialty. So I'd probably have to say Jason Garrett.
I agree. I just want to give a quick shout out to Dire Giants fan. He continues to post the links to everybody's channel, PTA Sports, and all the guys in the chat. So Dire Giants fan, you're the man. I always appreciate you doing that. So thank you. And again, guys, if you haven't done so, the links to all of their channels are in the description. So, when you get a chance, go in there, click on them, sub them. And like I said, ring the bell so you know when they drop content, because you won't regret it. These guys are great at making videos. So definitely check them out. Heartstrom Media, what is this season for the Giants and your favorite coach?
Now, this is going – first, I'm going to start with my favorite coach is Mark Colombo. I'm excited about that because I am a fan of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, how they built it over the past 4 or 5 years, and the work that he's done with them and the way they've been able to run the ball, protect the quarterback and handle play action pass and stuff like that. So definitely excited about that. So what I'll say, this is going to sound strange for somebody that said we had a solid chance to make the playoffs and that we could potentially go 10-6 and 9-7. A successful season to me could be as little as 5 wins. But those 5 wins, we would have to beat the Eagles, the Cowboys at least once, beat the Redskins twice, So if we go 4-2 in the division, and then our defense goes from giving up 29 points a game to about 24.5, to me, that's success. Now, mind you, if we cut down and only give up 24 points a game, we'll win more than 5 games. But if I think about the improvement of the team and where we were the worst, you can't win games giving up 29 points a game. If we can cut it down and become midway point in the league and how many points we give up, even if that only gives us 5 wins, because say we just go up against Baltimore and, they score, they beat us, and we go up against San Fran, they beat us. Say the hard schedule beats us. The Rams beat us, and Pittsburgh beats us, and COVID beats us because we got all these new coaches and all that stuff like that. If we show the improvement in giving up less points and then beating the 2 teams who we haven't been able to beat, and then keep squashing the Redskins. So we're losing no ground to the Redskins. We're catching up on the Cowboys and Eagles. We're giving up less points. That can lead us to winning 11 to 10 games the next season. Easy.
Yeah.
So that's my successful season.
I agree. I think 6 or 7 wins would be a successful season for the Giants just because they've won 12 in the last 3 years. But they've, like you said, they've got to beat the Eagles and Cowboys. I mean, they've got to find a way to beat those 2 teams. They have owned us for 3 years. And if we're ever going to get back on top of this division, it's going to start with beating the teams in this division. So I have no doubt we have a very tough schedule here. And again, we're behind the 8 ball because of COVID, because the inability to practice and OTA, everything that you get acclimated to. Learning a new system is tough to begin with, and I have no time to do it. So it kind of gets us off to a slow start, but I think this team is good. And I agree with Cop and Kid Blue. There's no doubt it's Garrett and Colombo for me. If you look at what the Cowboys did, they were 8-8 a bunch of years. Then they went out, they addressed the offensive line. They got a running back. They got a quarterback. They started winning 13 games. The New York Giants took what Dallas did. They took their line coach. They took their offensive coordinator / head coach. They went out and they drafted all offensive line. They got their running back. They got their quarterback. They are modeling what the Cowboys did. The Cowboys succeed not because their defense is great, but because the Cowboys have the ball for 33 minutes a game. The Giants have gotten crushed in time of possession for years. So you can't win football games when you have the ball 27 minutes a game. You can't. We've been near the bottom of the league in time possession for years now. This year, because of the addition of Garrett, because of the addition of Colombo, I think you see that switch. And a really good offense, an offense that can control the ball, convert third downs, can hide an inexperienced suspect defense. That's why I'm excited what those guys bring. And like Cobb said, these guys they're Ivy League minds. Joe Judge is an Ivy League mind. Patrick Graham is an Ivy League mind. And Jason Garrett. They're all Ivy League coaches. They're very smart, which is why they say they want smart guys in this team because they want to teach. And one thing you heard that was a common denominator of almost every guy that they drafted, he's a smart kid. He's smart. This guy's smart. That's what they want. They want to be able to teach these kids. I'm very excited about our coaching staff. I love Bielema. I love Grant. I like what they did as a whole. They did a really good job with this coaching staff. Now, hopefully it translates. You can talk as much as you want, but these players got to believe in it, and you got to get them to perform. The best head coaches get the most out of their players. One thing Joe Judge said that I love the most, he says, don't tell me what these guys can't do. Tell me what they can't do. Bill Belichick is the GOAT because Bill Belichick has taken every player he's had and gotten the most out of him. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. Wes Welker was 0 on Miami. He became a Hall of Famer because he went to New England. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
If Joe Judge was here last year, we wouldn't have got Baker.
That's true.
Yeah, because Julian Love graduated early. Darnay Holmes went back. All these guys are super smart. Not Sam Baker's. I'm gonna say all these guys are like super smart guys. McKinney's super and smart guy. From everything I'm reading about these guys are top of the class guys.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin Wynn, Brilly says if the Rams win, Heartstorm Media gets an invite to the Gentlemen's Club. Kid Blue has yet to respond to my invite, so I'm rescinding it. I don't know where Benjamin got the strip clubs from all of this.
I don't know.
Hey, it's just all of a sudden. It's just
Ben doesn't want me over there.
Of the strip clubs.
Well,
so if you want to go to the strip club, you need to come here.
He's 21. I mean, when 21, yeah. I mean, he just turned 21.
Ben doesn't want me over there, man. You see this face? It's gonna attract everyone. I mean, come on, look at this baby face, man.
It doesn't matter about your face. It matters about your wallet. It matters about your wallet in those places.
I don't even need money. No.
Really, this is a good question. We're gonna start with we'll start with you, Heartstorm Media. He says, what was your first reaction to the Judge hiring?
Oh man. I like initially I was like, I had the same reaction kind of Stephen A. Smith had. Like, who is this dude? I had no idea he wasn't on the radar. I guess I fell for the what's the guy that went to Carolina?
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule. I was reading all up on Matt Rule. I was liking what I saw.
Yep.
Wasn't a fan of McCarthy, so it kind of was like I did like what I saw in Rule. Watched his press conference when he got hired, liked him even more. So the Judge thing was kind of like I was mind blown. But then I started reading about, on the guy and looking into his background, his pedigree, like what I heard of him, and I thought, like, when all else fails, fresh tactics. We went out and got a bunch of known guys who was thought to be these great offensive minds. Didn't work out, didn't pan out. They weren't great leaders of men. And that's what you got to be as a head coach. And I think that's Jason Garrett's problem. I don't think he's a great leader of men. He's a good offensive mind. He's brilliant, but I don't think he's a great leader of men. I think Joe Judge will exude that. And then once he started putting that coaching staff together, that's when he sold me, because I was like, it's not all about the money. The good coaches they can go where they want for the most part. Assistant coaches, of course, they gotta want to come work under a guy. And the fact that a lot of these guys wanted to come work under him, that's what sold me on.
Nice. Cop, what did you think about Joe Judge when we hired him?
Well, I think that when we look back at Giants history, we'll actually know that this time we actually got really lucky. And the reason why I say that is because I 100% believe Matt Rule was the guy. And they gave him stupid money, right?
Yeah.
Just dumb money. But the Giants wanted Matt Rule. He was the guy. And we obviously didn't get him because Carolina, opened up the wallet. With that being said, I think the fallback plan was this. And I actually think the way everything came together, the Giants actually got lucky, right? Mara, who has been, clueless the last several years, actually might just have got lucky on this one, right? I mean, seriously. So, because the reason why I say that is because even the Cowboys letting go Garrett, right? Because that wasn't even for sure was going to think of that. Jerry went on for weeks dragging that on well, we're thinking about it. He didn't want to do it, but he got backed into a corner. So the fact is, I think, when we did get Joe Judge, I obviously did the research. I started to wonder. And as soon as I saw Alabama, New England, I said, this is championship pedigree right here. Like Hartstorm said, he has the pedigree. He's been at places, organizations, universities that win. And the Giants haven't been winning. So I think he's going to bring that in. I think when we look back, the Giants got lucky, and it's never a bad thing to get lucky.
Yep, great points. Kid Blue, what did you think about Joe Judge?
Yeah, I can't hide from this one, man, because I made a reaction video to it, and I wasn't happy at all. I was like enraged. I was actually working at the time, and I was like, I can't believe I got to hear this when I'm at work and all, because I wanted Matt Rule really bad. And then you hear what happened with the whole Matt Rule situation is that, they called Matt Rule, the Giants organization called Matt Rule and said, hey, we got a guy that is, in competition with you. We got a guy we might pull the trigger on. How much are we talking for your contract? Matt Rule didn't let up, and he went along with Carolina and said, hey, you got your option. I'm going to go to Carolina. And then the Giants say, okay, we'll just hire Joe Judge. And I like Cop said, I think the Giants got lucky, because if Matt Rule said, hey, I'll go down in price a little bit, Matt Rule would be our head coach right now. Mm-hmm. And so absolutely, I think the Giants got lucky and they made the right decision. I'll tell you what, I was extremely upset at it at the beginning. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I was pissed off that we got a wide receivers coach as a head coach. But, you did your research on him. He's from Alabama, from New England, nothing but a winning culture over there. And you ask any coach about him. I mean, he was popular amongst coaches, not in the media world and fandom, but he was popular amongst coaches. He was a guy that was highly respected throughout the NFL. Mm-hmm. And you look at Joe Judge. I think he was our best option. I think especially when you watched his first press conference, right? His introductory speech. I mean, the momentum shift or just the shift in emotions that I had when I first watched his press conference. I went from, all right, let's see what this guy has to say. Let's see what he has to say. Mm-hmm. At the end, I kid you not, I wanted to run through a wall. I kid you not. Man. I was ready to run through a wall. And so I'm extremely excited about Joe Judge. I don't even care that he's a special teams coordinator, wide receivers coach. I think this guy, I mean, you could quote me on this. This guy is going to be one of the better Giants head coaches that we've had in a long time. He's gonna be up there with Tom Coughlin. He's going to be up there with Parcells, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Can I also say, Dog, that I actually think that both Matt Rule and Joe Judge will be successful. Like, I think Matt Rule will do great.
I think Matt Rule will be good. Yeah,
I think he's going to be good. I think this was just a situation where there was one spot particularly open, like the Giants, and it had two candidates. And at the end of the day, the Giants did what was best for them. Or Matt Rule obviously went towards the money. So at the end of the day, I actually think they'll both pan out and do well, and they'll be both great. So I don't think there's a win or a loss here for either side.
Right. Dire Giants fan, Brilly, my man, he says, my debit card's taking forever to get here. These spinning stickers are going to drop themselves, especially in 9 days. Yeah, I know. That's my birthday stream. So, yes, I understand you're going to make me dizzy. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. I agree with Cop and Kid Blue on this. I was a huge Matt Rule guy. Okay. I mean, being a Big 12 guy, I know how bad Baylor was when he took over. I know how good Baylor was last year.
Yeah.
Matt Rule turned Temple into a winning program. He turned Baylor into a winning program. This guy turns bad teams into winning programs. Huge Matt Rule guy. I was a big Wink Martindale guy. I wanted a defensive guy. I was Wink Martindale in here. I could go with him too. I really wanted Matt Rule. When we hired Joe Judge, I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad. I was like just kind of perplexed. Like, I didn't know what to think of it. But one thing I did like is that the Giants thought outside the box for a change.
Yeah.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yep.
Went outside the box this time.
That would have been like getting the enemy.
When I heard Matt Rule's press conference and I heard Joe Judge's press conference, I made a video and I said the Giants are blessed that they missed out on Matt Rule. Because when I heard Joe Judge, I said, this is a no-nonsense football guy. We're going to punch you in the nose for 60 minutes. He learned from Saban. He learned from Belichick. They're the two greatest at what they've done. The greatest college coach ever, the greatest, NFL coach ever. So I just love the no-nonsense football attitude. Like, football. It's about football. Pat Shermer was a lazy, gutless flat. Joe Judge ain't going to be like that. The persona of your team takes on the person. The personality of your head coach is what your head, what your team. The Giants looked lazy, lethargic. DeAndre Baker didn't know the playbook. He's falling asleep in meetings. That is a direct reflection of the head coach. That will not happen with this coaching staff. Will not. They're no nonsense. They're businesslike. The Giants have always been a business-like franchise when they've been successful. They're not going to score 45 points a game. They're not going to be Air Coryell. They're going to run the ball down your throat. They're going to play defense, and they're going to win ugly. That's what Giants football is, and I think that's what Joe Judge brings here. I love Joe Judge. I can't wait to see what we do on the field, man.
Go back to 2018 and watch Pat Shermer's introductory 2017, and go back and watch Pat Shermer's introductory, head coach press conference. It's such a total difference from Joe Judge's. It's absolutely insane. I went back and watched Pat Shermer's press conference, and I was like, I mean, no wonder he never worked out for the Giants. You just watch, he was just so lazy, dragged out. He slurred most of his words, like he was tired or drunk, or rather. I mean, it's just huge 180. I mean, Joe Judge was definitely the right guy.
Yeah.
Can I also say, Bad Dog, I want to make this point too.
Yeah.
I've always believed for many years now that Bill Belichick still loves the Giants.
He does.
I think he does.
But it is somewhere inside of him that, he really still loves his time with the Giants. And I have to think that obviously the Giants had to get approval to even talk to Joe Judge or even have that conversation. I don't think Bill Belichick sends Joe Judge to the Giants or even recommends him or even allows that without believing that he would actually do a good job. I think Belichick would have told them, like, he's good, but he's not ready. And they had to ask. They had to have.
Yeah. Because they got the relationship.
I agree. That's a great point, Cop. That's a good point. He probably did come very high level. And, of course, the Giants are going to value Belichick's opinion.
Yeah,
a lot of Giants fans are questioning, because Belichick's coaching tree has been great, but they haven't been Joe Judge either. And it's not just – he learned under Saban too, so it's not like it's just one coach. And I think the problem that some guys turn into is that they try to be Bill Belichick. They try to Matt Patricia is not Bill Belichick. Charlie Weiss is not Bill Belichick. Joe Judge is Bill Belichick, but I think Joe Judge will be his own man. He's also younger, and I think the players can relate to a guy that's 38 years old. I mean, he's younger than I am, you know. I mean, it just makes me feel really old when this head coach is way younger than me in the NFL, but I am old, so it's all good. It's Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says the governor of California is incredibly stupid. Open the gyms and barbershops, but keep the strip clubs closed.
Yeah, listen, I just read
I
that.
want my gym open.
Look, I just read that. First, let me say really quick. So anybody that sees me like just watching on like I'm like reading the chats. So if you see me like looking down, I'm not like not paying attention. I'm actually reading the chats. And I just read that. I just read that and I died laughing off that. Like I'm good over here.
All over the place. Zuhaib, thank you for the super chat. Billy says I like Judge too, y'all. But let's press the brakes for a second here. I think it's just exciting to hear a guy that has a good football philosophy. I don't think McAdoo had it. I don't think that Sherman had it. I think Coughlin had it. I think Parcells had it. I think Joe Judge is that line of coach. And I think that's why I'm excited here. I mean, Coughlin and Parcells won 4 Super Bowls, and Belichick was our defensive coordinator, during our 2 Super Bowls in 86 and 90. So I think that's why we're excited, because you finally have a no-nonsense guy that just has a good football philosophy. He knows the basics of football. He's the type of coach going to get the most out of his players, and he's going to set his players up for success, where guys like Shermer and McAdoo did not do that. Shermer had the same freaking game plan every damn week.
Yeah.
There's going to be weeks where we run 40 times. There's going to be weeks where we pass 40 times. It depends on our opponent. Don't ask me about a game plan. It depends on our opponent. That is exactly what a head coach is supposed to do. You build your game plan around your opponent's weaknesses. Shermer didn't do that. McAdoo didn't do that. I think that's why Giants fans are excited about Joe Judge. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Billy says, turning 21 this year sucks. All I ask is the damn gentleman's club. It's that simple. Doesn't take a freaking genius to do it. I'm not 21, man. I'm married with kids, man. Those days are long behind me. I was 21 again, Benjamin, a week ago. And Brilly says, I'm starting a petition. Who's with me? I don't live in Cali. I just want my damn gyms open in New York. That's all I ask.
I think that he's been looking forward to that ever since he was little. Just when I turned 21, that's where I'm going. I think he's just very disappointed.
Well, you can go to them when you're 18 as long as they don't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's right. Fine. I mean, I don't know.
He wants
not in Atlanta.
No?
Not in Atlanta.
I don't know. I New York, you can.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey,
So if you guys,
can I say one more thing on the Joe Judge bet on?
well, absolutely.
It's not for people to criticize Giant fans for hyping him up. It's not fair to do that because he is our shiny new toy on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us have a little bit of fun. Okay. Last couple years, we want this guy to work out, be here for 20 years, be the next Bill Belichick, be the next Bill Parcells, kiss our ass. We just really want this guy to work.
Right.
We are desperate for something.
Desperate.
We are.
Hey.
Maybe we're reaching, but man, we need something. And this team,
he's coming into a better situation than the other coaches from Bill Belichick's tree fell into. Like, Matt Patricia didn't fall into a great situation over it with the Lions. A lot of his guys didn't fall in a great situation. They either had a quarterback that was there that the team were either just stuck with or, not confident in going forward. They're just not good. So a lot of the coaches that have left the Bill Belichick tree haven't had success because of that reason. You know what I mean? If you think about the Parcells tree, his guys went out and got lucky enough to end up with good teams. Something like Coughlin, he made the Jaguars good. Yeah, he did it with he had Mark Brunell and whoever else he had at the time, and he made Coughlin was actually a really good coach.
True.
Yeah,
remember, Coughlin is part of that Parcells tree. I mean, he was.
I know that's what I said. Coughlin was one of the guys who kind of went against having a good situation. He made the team that he had good, but most of the guys, fell into good situations, and
Well, Belichick did the same thing in Cleveland. He made the Browns good. The Browns are nothing when he took them over. The Patriots were nothing when he took them over. I think they were 1-15, or they were not good when he took them over. Brady helped him a lot there, but they were not a good team either. And Parcells did that. The Jets were terrible. The Patriots are terrible, and Parcells took them over 3 years later in a Super Bowl. The Jets won one game. Parcells takes them over 2 years later in the AFC Championship game. These guys want to win, and I think Joe Judge is right from that thing. But one thing I think Joe Judge has a big advantage of, his coordinators are really good. Jason Garrett is a former NFL head coach, a great offensive coordinator, and a guy that's been on winning teams.
I'm a little iffy on Graham, though. A little iffy on Graham.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect from Graham.
Yeah.
I don't. All I do know is that guys like Blake Martinez, Kyler Fackrell had really good years under Patrick Graham when he was at the Packers. So I think that they brought in guys that, Patrick Graham's had success with. I think that could help too. But we'll see. I wasn't really sold on Graham because, Miami had nothing there. So it's hard to really judge what he's going to be. But he's a smart guy. And I think that certainly goes a long way in the NFL. But we'll go live for like another 10 minutes, guys. If you have questions in the chat, please shout them out, and we'll get some answers for you guys on here. And again, just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. And I still have over 200 people in here. You guys are amazing. Please do me a favor. Make sure you guys are going into the description, subbing up these guys. The links to all their channels are there. Sub them up, ring the bell, so you know when they drop their content. You guys will not regret it. These guys are all awesome content creators, huge Giants fans, and obviously they know their shit, which is this has been one of my favorite roundtables I've done. So thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. It's always good to have Cop on the channel. Everybody knows Cop and I's history, man. It's good to work with Cop, man. This has been a long time coming, so I'm glad that I'm glad I can work with Cop, man, because this is awesome. You're not going to find a more passionate Giants fan than Copizzle. It's good.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. If it wasn't for Copizzle, I wouldn't even have a channel on YouTube. So, he was my inspiration to start. There's no doubt about it. It's one of my favorite compliments from people. Bad Dog, you're an inspiration. You're a reason I started my channel. Well, like I said, if it wasn't for Copizzle making Giants content back in 2007, I would have never even known about Giants video makers on YouTube. So thank you for that, Cop. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Bad Dog. I'm glad I could bless you.
All right. Well, you know what? I got a question for you guys since the chat hasn't chimed in yet. So I know, Bad Dog, your holy trinity matches mine. You are Yankees, Knicks, Giants.
Yes.
Kid Blue and Cop, what's your holy trinity?
Yeah, I'm Yankees, Knicks, Giants as well.
Thank you.
Oh no, he's all over the place. He's all over the place.
I'm way messed up. I'll be the first day. I'm way messed up.
He's not even
honestly, I'm gonna be real honest. This is gonna sound this. So I've always been a big fan of baseball. I've been a big baseball fan, and I've actually been a Cubs fan. Now I blame WGN for that. I'm a WGN baby. Okay, that's what made me a Cubs fan. But I'm going to tell you this. This is as honest as I can be. The Giants are my number one everything. I can watch multiple other sports, but there is no other team, organization, franchise, university, whatever, that will ever get as much heart space as the Giants do. It will always be Big Blue for me. But I honestly can't love another team as much as I love the Giants. It's impossible, because if I did, my heart would explode. They already right. I honestly don't know how New York sports fans do it, because you guys have so many options. You have endless options, just of baseball options, football options, basketball options, even hockey. You got tons of options. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, but you somehow do it.
We got balance, because none of our teams are ever good at the same time.
Well, the Yankees and Giants are both good at the end of the night. Like 2000, the Giants were in the Super Bowl. Yankees.
Yeah.
So
then you got the Knicks. That disappoints you.
Forget about it.
You got the balance. You got the balance.
The Knicks were both good in the 90s. The Knicks were great. The Knicks broke my heart in the 90s many times. And now they're just, I don't even know what. That's a lost cause. James Dolan needs to walk in front of a cab and get hit. He's got it.
Yeah, man.
The Knicks will never be good with that guy there. He is just, it's awful.
He's a cancer, man.
The NBA is more fun when the Knicks are good.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Harden, of course.
It definitely is. But yeah, the way I got my teams, that's just through the family tree. I mean, my grandfather was a fan. My dad was a fan of these teams. So thank God they weren't, Mets, Jets, Knicks. I'm old as dirt, and I would have saw one championship. I've seen one championship between those three teams. Knicks have never won in my lifetime. Mets have won once, and the Jets haven't won anything. Yankees and Giants, man, 9 championships I've seen between them. So I can't complain. I love the Giants, But the Yankees are they're my passion, and that is from childhood, going to the games with my dad. Just there's nothing like walking through that tunnel and hearing the crack of the bat, and the gorgeous weather, and the peanuts, and the hot dogs, and everything about baseball. Just transcends it. Like I love everything about that. I mean, I am more intense with the Giants because games mean more. But there's no doubt, like, I could sit down and watch. If I had the time to do it, I don't obviously now. I could sit down and watch all 162 games of the Yankees, and it would never. I love the Yankees. I mean, they're like family. You got the Yankees 6 months every night.
You know what something's really cool about the Yankees is I don't know another team in all of sports that has greater former players than the Yankees.
Yeah, they got.
I'm talking about like historical men like Babe Ruth, for example, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig. Just unbelievable, talented players. Joe DiMaggio. I mean, just the list goes on and on with them. Every franchise has a guy or
one or two.
But the Yankees have
we got 20
murderers row of old players.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, growing up in the 80s, they were bad. Well, they weren't bad in the 80s. They just never won, and then they got really bad in the late 80s. And I remember, I didn't see them win until I was 20. The 80s were the only decade that they did not win a championship since the 20s, and then now this past decade they didn't win one.
Yeah, we have poor Don with the mustache out there by himself.
My grandfather would talk about the Gehrig Yankees and the DiMaggio Yankees. I mean, he was born in 1919, so he saw those teams. Mantle and Barra and Whitey Ford. He saw Maris. He saw all those guys. And then my dad, he had Munson and he had Mickey Rivers and he had, he had Gator and he had Willie Randolph and he had Chambliss and he had Reggie. He had his dynasty. I was like, I'm never going to get a dynasty. And then sure enough,
and then you got one.
I got my O'Neill. I got my Brocious. I got Jeter. I got Posada. I got Pettit. I got Mariano, who's my favorite Yankee of all time. So I was blessed to see that. I mean, a lot of guys. I mean, the Cubs didn't win one for God knows how long. I mean, how excited were you when they won that all in 2000?
I was really excited. I was extremely excited. I didn't think it would ever happen.
I was excited for them.
And you're a Pacers guy, so the Pacers and Knicks haven't won since the ABA days.
Well, again, this goes back to the Knicks being good. Like I loved Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was my guy. When he was doing that stuff with Spike Lee, I said, "This dude is this is my guy." But I wanted to mention something else. I was thinking about this. I actually had the conversation with a friend not too long ago about if you could go back and watch one player that you never got to see play, like just go back in time. And my answer, and I've always had this always been my answer, is Babe Ruth. I would be so hype in the stands. I mean, full on Copizzle watching Babe Ruth taking it back. I mean, I would just be hyped for that. And if he hit it, as far as they say he did or whatever, I mean, like I'd have to leave. You just leave.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be Jim Brown.
Jim Brown be cool.
I would love to see Jim Brown play. If I could go back and watch anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kid Blue, who would you want to go back and watch?
Barry Sanders.
Oh,
you're that young. I'm that young.
I mean,
I'm that young.
I mean,
wow. You know what? That makes sense though. He was amazing.
I love that. I
feel so old because
dude.
Playing.
I am that young. I'm 22, so I never got to see Barry Sanders play. But I'll tell you right now, when I watch Barry Sanders highlights, I get chills, man. Just what he was able to do. My eyes are glued to the screen. That and LT. I'm a running backs guy. Running back's my favorite position. So I mean, Barry Sanders is my guy, man.
But not the real LT, Kid Blue.
No, LT Lawrence Taylor. But I'm saying I'm saying I'm a running backs guy. So I mean, I would love to see Barry Sanders probably over anybody.
I will tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I was just going to say that for me, there was nothing more exciting on Thanksgiving Day than to watch Barry play.
Right.
Yeah.
I was always excited to watch Barry Sanders play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you did, like back then, you didn't miss. I mean, if the Lions came on TV, like nowadays, if the Lions come on TV, you're not watching that, right? If the Lions came on TV, then you were definitely watching the whole game. No matter who they were playing, you were going to watch the Lions play. Like that's hands down. You
Yeah,
know,
it'd be some-
Very was unbelievable. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, I was raised to love the ass. Strippers usually have big ones. That's why we need it as soon as possible. This pandemic is ruining my adulthood. You're 21. You have plenty
plenty of time.
time, man. Yeah, trust me, it goes fast. The Meat Church, one of my favorite names. Brilly. It sounds like a bad porno movie. I say he says his kid blew the world's largest midget. What the hell kind of question is that?
I might be.
Benjamin, Brilly says, hoping my girl doesn't read these, probably be single.
Where is Benjamin from? Where's he from?
Los Angeles.
Oh, Los Angeles. Okay.
That says it right there, man. Says it right there.
I can go back in time and watch. It'd have to be Mickey Mantle. I mean, just the things I've heard about the Mick. I mean, it just this guy, ran fast as a deer, hit the ball over the moon. I mean, he was just one of the most talented players in the history of baseball, and I would love to see Mickey Mantle taking a bat, in the 50s before all the injuries and everything else that hampered it. That 1956 season when he won the Triple Crown, just to be able to watch the Mick take in a bat, like Cobb said, if he hit, to be there when he hit the ball off the light stanchion in Yankee Stadium, I probably would have just walked out of the stadium and said, you can't stop that. That's
I'd love to go back to that time and wear a suit at the game.
Yep.
When I watched those highlights and everything, I wonder what was that like wearing a suit at the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But I'm sorry, guys, I didn't see any questions in the chat. I don't want to hold these guys up. I mean, we've been live for almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna end this at this time. One more time, guys and girls in the chat. I thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me that you tuned in tonight. We had over 220 people here most of the night. Again, if you haven't done so, the link to all three of these gentlemen's channel, they're in the description. So please make sure you guys hit those links, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you know when they drop their content. And like I said, you guys will not regret it because these guys are great at what they do. Guys, I want to thank you for taking time out of your night to do this with me. Like I said, this has been one of my favorite roundtables. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So, thank you guys, for doing it, taking a couple hours of your night to hang out with me. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Bad Dog. Thank you, man.
Yeah. All righty, guys. So with that said, for Copizzle, for Kid Blue, for Heartstorm Media, it's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and we are out. Peace.